Today we're going to make a concrete lamp out of a cantaloupe. I'm going to start by using a hot glue gun to glue the cantaloupe to the bottom of a bucket that's just a few inches in diameter, bigger than the cantaloupe. To make the mold, I'm going to mix together Mold Star 30. It's a two-part silicone product that works great for casting concrete. I want to fill the bucket all the way up until the cantaloupe is completely submerged. I let the silicone cure about 10 hours before removing the bucket. The cantaloupe is stuck in there pretty good, so I have to cut the silicone a little bit to remove it. I'm going to drill a hole in the lid of the plastic bottle so that the threaded rod fits right in, nice and snug. I'm then going to use a couple of threaded nuts to sandwich the lid onto the threaded rod. I want to remove the plastic neck of the bottle and just have the cap fit right into the thicker part of the bottle. So I'm going to cut that away and then hot glue the cap back to the bottle. Removing the neck of the bottle makes it a lot easier to get the plastic out when you're done. I'm going to try to keep the threaded rod as straight as possible while the glue hardens. I'm also not going to apply too much glue at once, since it can actually melt the bottle. Now I want the cord of the lamp to eventually go right through where the stem was on the cantaloupe. So I'm going to use a really long drill bit to drill a tiny hole right through where the stem was. I'm then going to use a larger drill bit to make a hole that's just a little bit smaller than the threaded rod. I'm then going to twist the threaded rod through the hole that I drilled. I'm going to need some space to actually pour the concrete into the mold, so I had to cut away a little bit of the silicone to create some room. I'm going to use a second bucket that's the same size to create a brace that's going to hold the mold together. The silicone's actually pretty sturdy, so you don't really need to do this. It's just a good idea so that concrete doesn't get into the crack when you vibrate the mold. I'm going to use Quikrete countertop mix in white for this lamp. I'm going to mix it a little bit more watery than normal because I really want it to settle down into the mold. I'm just going to spoon the wet concrete into the mold and then periodically tap and shake the mold to help vibrate the concrete down and let it settle. After letting the concrete cure about 20 hours, I was ready to remove the mold. The outer bucket was actually a little bit stuck onto the silicone, so I had to cut it off. For the next lamp that I make, I'll probably have to use something else to brace it. The concrete is still a little bit fragile, so I had to cut the mold a little bit more to get it out. The good part though about the concrete being fragile is that you can cut away the overpoured parts of concrete. To remove the plastic bottle, I'm going to use a heat gun. What's great about this is that it'll actually melt the hot glue first, and then I'm just going to pull on the bottle with pliers and the whole thing will come right out. There's a few different ways you can trim the metal tube, but you do want to make sure that you don't overly vibrate it and crack the still fragile concrete. A cutting wheel on a drill works okay, but an angle grinder with a metal cutoff blade is a lot faster. I wired up the lamp with a cord and socket set from colorcord.com, and I used zip ties to create a pinch point so that I could hang the lamp if I wanted to use it as a pendant. The texture of the lamp is awesome, and I'm really excited to pour the next one into the mold. For more detailed instructions, check out my website, homemade-modern.com, and if you're interested in what I'm building next, be sure to follow me on Instagram. And for more information on all the concrete products I use, be sure to check out quikrete.com. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already.